Well, hello there, YouTube. Mr. Gibson Guy here. Thank you for dropping by the channel. If you're new to the channel, haven't been here before, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and you'll get through other videos that I make. And today leave me a comment also and share this video with a friend. Okay, that really helps out too. Today I've been doing kind of a series on the medium format camera, the Mamiya 645 1000S that I picked up recently, and I got several videos out of this and people have been interested in it, and I started this with the idea of how I can get a medium format camera system where I can take medium format pictures for the lowest amount of money for what I picked up. And what I've done to do that is that I've been shopping around for what people have as bargains, and I look for people that say, well, I don't know that much about it, but it seems to have this problem and this problem and this problem and this problem and this problem, and I say, okay, is that really something that's wrong with the camera itself, or is it operator error? Because generally speaking, there's nothing wrong with the camera, except somebody's trying to use it not the way it was supposed to be used. And going back 45 years, I still have this old book here. And this is the Theodore de Santa medium format cameras, and it includes Hasselblad, Mamiya, Rolleiflex, Pentax, Brownica, and Yashica. All those different cameras are covered in here, and this is the instructions and the directions on how to do it. Now, for its day, the Mamiya 645 1000S was a very advanced camera system that was working with all these different things. But when you have a camera that has two shutter speed dials on it, you can realize this is going to be complicated. And it's not a matter of it's not working right, it's a matter it's not being used correctly. But if you have the book of directions, then you can look everything up and you can find all the operator errors and not let them be errors anymore. This particular camera, I got the lens separately, but I get the camera body with the film insert, with the pentaprism, and all this for 140 bucks. It's in really nice shape too, for 140 bucks, because it had problems. What were the problems? The mirror was locked up. The shutter button was stuck. The film advance was intermittent. It would work and then it wouldn't, and then it would work and then it wouldn't. And worst of all, this wonderful, most valuable PD prism finder on the top of the camera didn't work. There was no meter. It wouldn't light up. Nothing was happening. So I took it and I thought, all right, I'll try it all out. So I tried everything out, and just what he said, it's not working. But then I went and consulted the Book of Armaments, or in this case the Book of Medium Format, and found that the Holy Hand Grenade was actually pretty easy to use. You just had to follow the directions, and not 1, 2, 4. So going through this, I came up with all of these things that you need to know if you want to make this camera work correctly. And I'm going to put in a bonus right here at the very beginning for if you don't have this camera. And this is going to be for the M645 the M645J cameras, both of those cameras, not the 1000S. And that is, if you have one of those two cameras and you have the auto exposure prism connected to it, you have to do something to make it work right, or you're going to have problems, especially in bright light or if you're using fast film. And what that is you have, in case of either one of those, you have a camera which only goes to 1/500th of a second, but you have a prism on top with a meter that goes to 1/1000th of a second, which is not available on those cameras. So what you have to do, you can follow this picture right here, and you can see they're sticking this little tool into the prism. You can see the thumb right there, the hand that's holding that piece there. And that is, you turn that 60 degrees clockwise and it will reset the meter in the prism here so that it will only go to 1/500th of a second. It won't go to 1/1000th of a second, which would cause an error. So if you have either of those, the M645 or the M645J, that's what you have to do to it in order to have it function correctly. That's a little additional one. If you have the 1000S, you don't need that, because that's not what happens. But what do we need to do? Well, let's look at what we get out of the instructions for this. The PD prism, the CDS prism, or the auto exposure prism all have shutter speed dials on them. You have the waist level finder, or that's just the eye level prism without a finder. It doesn't have this second shutter speed dial, and it goes off of this shutter speed dial here. But if you're going to use any of the metered prisms, nothing is going to work until you get this dial set correctly. This is the camera shutter speed dial. This is the finder shutter speed dial. But you got to get this one set correctly, and there's only one setting that you have to do. Let's see if I can get this where you can see it, the light here. But right up here, there's a little, let's see. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but see that little green light up there? Right here where my fingernail is? If you see that, that's the setup place. And you have to turn this knob so that what lines up with this is, you got to press these to turn them, is this red dot in a red circle. And what that does is that bypasses this shutter speed dial, so that the camera will run automatically from this shutter speed dial. And once you do that, then everything will work and your prism will come on again. The prism will not work unless this is set on the red dot over here, even though all you're doing is taking it out of the picture. Now, there's also a red 1/60th for X-Sync on there, and there's some numbers which are brown and then they turn green. This is multiple seconds, 8 seconds, 4 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and then this is a half second, quarter second, 8 second, 15th second, then they turn white, and these are 60th, and then 60X for flash sync, 125, 250, 500, and the famous 1000, because this is a 1000S. You have to press this button down on the side too just to do that, but I'm going to set it back to, where do you go? Oh, all the way here. Back to here. No, that's B here, this one. This one here. Red dot and a red circle. That allows us to work this one. And then everything should start working on that. Now, it does have, sometimes there will be a mirror lockup where this mirror gets locked up halfway, and what you can do is you can manipulate the mirror lockup button over here and press this down. Now the mirror is locked up, see in there, and then bring it back up again and the mirror comes back. So, see if I can do it this way. So you can see it in there, mirror up, mirror down for that. Now also, the shutter button sometimes sticks, and there's a lock on the shutter button that you got to get yourself familiar with. There's a little red and white, and it lines up with the dot. When it's on the white, that means the shutter button is working. But when you click it to this red, match up with the white, then that locks the shutter button, which locks this other shutter button. Alright, so there, we'll keep that for using it, but other times you have to keep it like that. Like when you're putting it in and out of the case, or going to shoot and not shoot, you turn it on and then you turn it off again, so it locks. Right, we did those two. Now here's the other one that people ran into problem with, the winder, and that has to do with you practicing dry firing the camera to manipulate the shutter and make sure all the controls are working. And usually they won't, because this camera was not meant to dry fire unless you use this multi-exposure knob, this little multi thing here, and you fold it down like this. What that does is it disconnects the gears that connect to the frame counter up here, and it allows everything to spin normally. Let's see. Okay. That's locked. It's unlocked. There we go. See that? It just works normally. It doesn't do that unless you have it on multi. And you keep it on multi while you're practicing with it. But then once you go to put film into the camera, you got to turn it off multi, turn it on to normal, and then if you do this, see it doesn't want to stay. It just doesn't want to go. Put it back on multi. Oh, it's working again. But when it has film in it, and you do it like that, then this will work. So that's where all these problems came from with this camera, was it wasn't set up right. But that's the main thing to do. Now also, if you get a mirror lockup and it doesn't come down, you can twist your knob to B right here, right there, and it will pop the mirror back up to where it's supposed to be. Okay. So switch this to multi-exposure to practice with it, but switch it back to normal, and then you can load film in it and everything will work on the camera. So everything they said was wrong with it until it wasn't. A little extra part that I'll throw in here, just an extra right at the very end, thanks for watching this video, is mounting these can be a bit of a trick. You see this little red dot right here. You have a red dot here and you want to line it up, but what you want to do is hold the camera so that the lens is facing up. Try to drop it in here until it falls into place. If you just let it fall into place by gravity, and it'll be aligned, then you won't have any problem with this. Then you just got to do that, Switch your aperture around. Everything's lined up, and it's all working. Then, when I have this on red, the red dot also, when you're not taking pictures, make sure you turn it off of the red dot, because that will keep the battery going for the meter the whole time, and it'll kill your battery after a couple of hours. So only put it on the red dot when you're ready to take pictures, and then take it right back off again. All right, so that's all right out of the instruction book, how to handle the Mamiya 645 1000S, just like that. Okay, you want to hear something cool? I'll show you. This is a medium format 1/1000th of a second. Watch close. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. This is Mr. Gibson Guy, and I'm out of here.